Good evening, and the time is now 7:04. You're on CarTorque with Matty J. This is 98.9 Northwest FM. I'm joined in the studio, still with obviously James from Man vs. Movies, but with Sam. How you going, Sam?
Good, Matty. How are you, buddy?
Not bad. And James.
Hey,
from James from Established. So we've got a few topics to talk about tonight. So we're gonna have to really push the show. But so Sam hasn't been on the radio before. This is your first time?
Yes. So the butterflies are there at the moment.
You'll be fine, man. It'll all come naturally. I get tons of new people come on the show, and it's
cool.
And it's good. But we'll get to you very shortly. But
right.
But James with Established, he's obviously been on the show many times. He's not an aversion to the show.
Regular, yeah.
He's quite the regular. Tell us what's been happening with Established, and just what any big events happening like soon.
So Established has been pretty good, pretty steady lately. We've been hiding for a little bit to see what the Melbourne scene can do. We're heading up to Sydney this weekend for the Snowy 1000.
So I was going to talk about that, yeah. So the Snowy 1000, it's quite an interesting concept. James, you're obviously putting a stand up there for Established this year.
We're doing like a the Facebook Live sort of coverage.
Oh, cool. Yep.
We're following up like a guy from Melbourne has a crazy 600 horsepower MPS. So he's going to be obviously running it. So explain what the Snowy 1000 is. So Snowy 1000 is, and it's been running for about the past 5 years. It's basically up in the Snowy Mountains in Sydney at the airport. So it's a 2.2 kilometre runway. They cut off about 1,000 metres or 1 kilometre. And it's the quickest car overall or the highest speed reached over this 1 kilometre.
So basically all these ridiculously powerful cars and just line up at the starting line and see like obviously the speed trap and who can cover the time so 1 mile 1K 1K in the quickest amount of time. So your friend with that 600 horsepower MPS, that'd be quite a handful because but apparently he's got to do a lot of stuff to make it on the track because there's so many laws for especially when you're going high speed.
That's right. So he's swapped out some parts in terms of so to make it lighter.
So aesthetically wise,
right? So he's got the carbon fiber mirror, the aero mirrors, which are like a factory Mazda part, but in carbon. He's also he's custom made his own carbon bonnet. He's also made a carbon wing, but that has to come off in terms of attachments and whatnot. He also has to go through scrutineering, or
obviously, yeah.
Call it. Basically, he has. So instead of the normal latch, you got to have like bonnet pins. It's an aftermarket bonnet. Everything has to be tied up, like splitters have to come off, stuff like that. So
it's full legit. Like this is like a proper they do the stuff in the States. I've seen with
it's got to be legitimate, man. So
because you're going so fast during it's basically called runway racing.
Basically.
So anything potentially that could come off, they have to take off just in case. So you don't make a mess of the track because your cars are doing 200 miles an hour. You don't want to. You obviously don't want to risk anything else happening and endangering you, but not only you, but the other racers and people on the track.
Basically, most of these cars can fly. That's probably why they call it runway racing. Yeah, you bolt some wings on them, I'm telling you, these things will take off. It'll be pretty interesting.
So you said it's been running for how many years now?
I think this is the 5th year they're gonna do it. So it's been pretty successful. Just to look at things, there's a chart that's floating around. And I'll pull it up if you want to talk.
So do you run this? Do you run this event?
No, we don't run the event. We're just going up to view it.
That's so cool.
There's a proper Snowy 1000 event
management system and everything.
Yeah, they've got a bunch of sponsors on board already. Just to name a few, so Exedi's on board. They got the local Macca's on board.
Macca's is with everyone. Let's be honest.
Anything they can put their name on.
That's it.
Look, we got to go to a quick break. We'll continue this right after this, and we're gonna get to Sam obviously because he's our feature guest of the week. So we're gonna go to a song. That was Client Liaison. You're back on 98.9 Northwest FM. This is CarTorque. I'm still in the studio with James, and Sam. There's James is coming out of the woodworks here. It's quite impressive. We'll get back to the Snowy 1000. We'll move over to you, Sam.
Right.
So exciting times for you. You have a vehicle that you have ordered. It is on its way. But before we get to that, if you got a text about the Snowy 1000, or if you got any information or or anything you want to say about it, give us a text on 044777 989. It's 044777 989. Tell us your thoughts about what we're talking about, because we've got a few topics we're going to talk about tonight. We're going to talk about the Grand Tour, which is obviously then the new show by the original Top Gear guys. The Snowy 1000, which we'll continue with, and Melburnians that can't drive. So
I've got some stories on that one. That's horrible. Oh.
We will get to that very shortly. But in the meantime, Sam.
Right.
So you've ordered a car. It's been quite a while. You're getting it shortly. You want to tell the great people of the community what you're getting.
So I got the new 2016 Mustang.
Oh, nice.
Coming on this way. So I ordered it on March 21st.
Okay,
so it's 8 months pretty much on the dot. And they at the time they said it would be about 15 months late. So it's a long time to wait for a car. I told everyone. I told all my bosses and my friends, and like, oh, you're silly for waiting for 15 months for a car. You're not going to be able to, it's going to take forever, blah, blah, blah.
It'll be worth the wait, mate.
Well, the next day, and then I called them up just to see if it was on schedule. And, you don't need, at the time when you order the car, you don't actually have to tell them at that time what colour you want, what type of tyres you want or rims, because there's such a long wait. You've just got to put a deposit on it.
And you got your name down.
And then you got your name down. So anyway, I called them up about 2 months ago, and they said to me that it's actually come forward, and they reckon around February.
Okay.
Yeah, it's another 4 months or so.
It's getting closer.
Yeah, but so I've got the fastback, which is the
coupe.
The coupe, yeah. So not the convertible one. I just don't like the look of the convertible one. It just doesn't look manly enough for me, And like a Mustang, you want to feel like power, you know.
It's a muscle car at the end of the day.
Yeah, that's it, man. That's it. So
you got the GT, obviously.
Got the GT, the 5 litre.
Yep.
I just can't. When you think about a Mustang, you think muscle. You think V8 engine. You don't think V4 turbo. It's just not my thing. Even though there are a lot of environmental people out there that don't agree with me on that, but that's totally fine.
It is a muscle car, and you're obviously getting the manual as well, I heard?
Yeah, so I haven't driven manual in about 8 years.
Okay.
So it's interesting to see how we go. But I do remember the last time I did drive a manual was my mum's car. So I practiced learning in a manual for about, I reckon, 100 hours of my 120 hours.
All right, cool.
When I was about 18, so 8 years ago. And then I got the hang of it, wanted to do a manual, but I just got automatic instead. It was easier.
Yep.
Drove a manual about 6-7 months ago, and I stalled it on the first go. So I'm pretty confident that will happen again this time. But
you're going to bunny hop out of the dealership?
I might actually. They might just give me a push start. They might just push me.
Nothing wrong with that, man.
So we'll see how we go with it. But it's a metallic colour, so gunmetal.
So it's called magnetic, isn't it?
Magnetic, that's it.
It's a great colour. That's the best colour, I reckon.
I think it's probably the best colour. I just can't, I looked at white and I was like, it's just too bland.
Yeah.
I don't like the ruby red's okay, but the red itself is not my cup of tea. Yellow,
I've seen a yellow one. Not really keen on
even
yellow.
the black ones. Like the black ones are just like, there's so many black cars around,
Yeah.
But then it's a magnetic with the black racing stripes down the middle and
cool.
black rims as well.
So it'll look tight.
Yeah, but so we'll see how we go. But look, it's still weighing up because, of course, it is a very expensive car.
Yeah.
I'm on the list, so it's coming up. So I've got to really decide whether I want to keep it or sell it as well. So,
well, that's the thing. So, are you going to take delivery, or are you going to just cancel it?
Well, my dad actually knows someone because my dad's a bookkeeper, and one of his clients was on the waiting list for over a year.
Yep.
And a week before he was meant to receive the car, so he bought the car.
A Mustang?
A Mustang, yeah, a V8 coupe for around 62,000, which I bought mine for, around 61, I think it was. And he sold it to someone further down the list for $85,000.
decent flip.
It's a decent flip, big, it's a big profit on a car. But the waiting list is so long, and people are just so impatient these days. They'll pay a little bit more, cash, especially if you find the right person to
100K buy GTR.
No, wouldn't that be nice? So, I would love to own a Shelby GT 500. That's my
dream
ideal,
car.
Dream car. I mean, I had so many exciting moments watching Nicolas Cage.
60 seconds.
Yeah, but not the car, just Nicolas Cage. So, but yeah, no, that was the car that really drew me. It was a Mustang, obviously, so that's my dream car. But this one, if I do drive it, might be good comparison, I think. So
yeah, I mean, look, a real, an Eleanor, as they call it, in that car. That car was specifically made for that film.
Yeah,
but that's a $200,000 car, $300,000. But it doesn't hurt to dream, and if you can get something that's as close as that, which is in the family line, it's got the pedigree there. It's a Mustang. If you get a quarter of the excitement, you're still getting something.
Yeah, one of my friends. He said to me, if you drive it for a little bit and then sell it, because then you get it out of your system.
Yeah.
Sort of thing.
But you might drive and say, God, this is awesome.
And that's what everyone has said. Everyone that I speak to that has a Mustang, they always say, they say, once you get into it, you love it.
Yeah.
And it's very hard to get out of it. And they haven't driven it. They haven't even driven it. And then they just get in it and they just love it.
Wow.
Yeah. So be nice. But we'll see. There's still a little bit of water going under the bridge. A little bit of thinking to do, but I'm really excited. It's nearly here.
So we're going to have to get you, once you get your car and see Sam's life with a Mustang.
Maybe we should go a mobile 98.9 Northwest FM, just driving around the car at 7 o'clock on a Tuesday night. We'll get James and James to come down and we'll just drive around the car mobile.
Walkie-talkies, mate.
We'll have the walkie-talkies here in the studio on the...
Yeah, pretty much. We'll relay it back.
Yeah, we could totally do something like that and hear that good 5-litre burble. I'm sure Sam will put the foot down here and there. And give it a little bit of a squirt. But, it's exciting times, Sam. It's really good.
Oh, it's a bit stupid idea, really. I don't even know why I bought it. But I just thought 12 months is a long time. I won't even have to worry about it. And then, they say 4 months from now, and then you actually have to think, oh, God,
I'm getting a car.
Where am I going to get the money from? Then you got to think about insurance. You got to think about, rego. So there's a lot of, maintenance. It's well, it's good though. But if I do drive and I do get it, it'd be exciting.
Yeah, you'll love it. I will guarantee that. I had the same thing when I went to buy my car. I'm just like, oh, what the hell am I doing? And
what car have you got?
The Typhoon. So, so the first time I drove it, but besides test driving, the first time I actually drove it when I bought the car, it just I couldn't get the smile off my face. I'm just I made a good decision. Okay, it was a lot of money, but it was a good decision.
Good decision. That's it. Good investment.
Yeah, look. At the end of the day, it's a car. It's going to lose money, but you only live once, as they say. So enjoy yourself.
Enjoy it.
And we're starting to see a lot of Mustangs around. So there'll be plenty of Mustang meets and clubs and all that sort of stuff.
Mustang Melbourne soon. Treat yourself to Mustang Melbourne.
Treat yourself. Come down to Mustang Melbourne and you will see plenty of Mustangs. So no, that's exciting. That's exciting. I'm glad you got a magnetic because you don't see many of magnetic. You see them all in the red and the blue. I don't mind the blue. The blue's okay, but the magnetic's probably the nicest color.
Well, I was at Pet Stock the other day getting some stuff for my cat, some flea stuff, and I saw a magnetic Mustang there. So I hugged the car. The guy came out and he said, "Get off it, mate." I'm like, "Oh, sorry." I was like, "Is this yours, mate?" He goes, "Yeah, get off it." I was like, "Oh, man, sorry."
You give it a hug, and the guy just, "What are you doing?"
Yeah, he's like, "What are you doing, man?" I'm like, "I'm just hugging your car."
Lucky you didn't tase you, man.
Yeah.
taser. Oh, no, that's good. That's good. Well, that's exciting, Sam. So we're gonna have to definitely get you back in and talk about that. But you're obviously a personal trainer.
Yes.
So
I attempt to be.
You tend to be.
I attempt to be a personal trainer,
okay.
But I'm not bad.
And just casual saying, I'm not too bad.
I'm not bad.
But you want to obviously come on the radio one day, so you're gonna have to come and do some training.
Yeah. So look, I mean, there's things I'd like to talk about, like fitness stuff. But I'm a very sporty guy as well. So
plenty of topics.
Love to talk about sport. I love my NFL, my American football. This is sort of the time of the year when it's sort of all swelling up on it, so I really enjoy it. But definitely, I'd like to. I've been wanting to do a bit of training here and like get involved. So
yeah, so well, keep in the loop, man, and it'd be good to have you part of the station because you've obviously got plenty of knowledge.
Do I have to change my name to James though?
Well, it'll be health and fitness talk with James.
James, just James.
James 7 of the station. Because
there are a lot of Jameses around here. Let's call it James 98.9 Northwest FM.
98.9 James FM.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, gotta have a laugh.
That's funny. That's funny. That's good.
Well, that is exciting, but we'll move on now. So, James, did you still want to bring up the? I can't take. I have to keep laughing. I can't take the names.
Yeah.
There's James coming.
17 of the studio.
I mean, this was James Liotta, James Morrison, James J. So
there's a guy called James, but it's spelled like James.
Oh, I got it. Yeah. So James, oh, this has been the best on CarTorque so far. I'm loving this. We'll move on to the Grand Tour. So if you're just tuning in, don't know what the Grand Tour is. The Grand Tour is Jeremy Clarkson, Richard Hammond, and James May's new show on Amazon. So obviously they've paid big money Amazon's paid them big money to get the pretty much the biggest three guys in car automotive journalism on a show, and it's obviously you got to pay for it because it's on Amazon, but you can get it from other sources. I'm not going to say how. But the first episode aired this week, and everyone in the car, fraternity was just like waiting on this episode because Top Gear, the revamp with the new host was kind of a disappointment for a lot of people. I didn't think it was because Chris Harrison and a few of the other and Sabine Schmitz and stuff like that were really, really good. But we're not talking about Top Gear. We're going to move on to obviously the Grand Tour. So it started with it looks like they spent their whole budget in the first about 15 minutes of the damn show. In the first scene, I'll just explain what happened. It was tied in really, really well. I thought it was introduced pretty cleverly. They showed pretty much Jeremy Clarkson walking out of, I think it was the BBC, and they had the radio adverts and the news reports are Jeremy Clarkson lost his job, this, that, and the other. He's moved on. And they show him just getting on a plane and going to Heathrow and landing in America, driving a Mustang. So he gets a rental Mustang and hops in there, and you just see him driving by himself. And it's all a bit kind of lonely. And then you just see two other Mustangs in the distance come up next to him, and then they've got obviously James and James, I can't even say it now. James May and Richard Hammond, and you see them together, and you're like, okay, they all kind of work. And then all of a sudden you see a bazillion other cars start following them. So, and then they go to their tent, and the tent is where the whole idea of this concept of Grand Tour is. It's a moving show, so it's a Grand Tour. So every week they were in a different
city and stuff.
Well, so this week they were out in California.
That's cool. Actually, it's raining this week though. There. It's a bad way to start your show, It's raining,
It's just pouring down. It's like,
hasn't rained for months, and then bang, the one time they got a show and it rains.
He just ruins their show. Next week they're in Johannesburg, so that's in South Africa. So that's a bit of a change, and they'll probably come to Australia and stuff like that. But it was really cool. Like that, they had kind of laughable moments and comparisons to the old show. Obviously, it's still with the same live audience. They had one scene where they had celebrities, and because in Top Gear they had every week they had a celebrity come on.
Yeah.
But I think they're kind of canning that concept because but how they did it was pretty funny. They're like, I don't know what other show does this, but they have celebrities coming every week. Just saying stupid stuff like that. So they said, to top that, we're going to have our celebrities come land in and come to our show in a crazy way. So live now is a guy, I forgot his name, coming from jumping from an airplane. So you see him jump off the airplane, you're they're looking at the window, they're waiting for him to come, and he just crash lands and dies.
What?
So they're looking at the window, he's just like, oh, what do we do now? It's like, oh, sorry, we got a backup guy, and they the camera turns around, and you see some actor guy, I don't know his name, just walking down, like he's walking in the Californian desert, and you just see him get attacked by snakes, and then he dies. And they're like, okay, we've got one more backup, and then it's like she's like, it's okay, she can't die, she's in the studio audience. They turn around and she just has a heart attack and dies. So they're like, maybe this is a bad concept. Maybe we should just not get celebrities on anymore. Everyone just started cheering. It was funny.
That's actually really funny.
It's clever. It's clever. So the humor and weird is still there, which is good to see.
They've got a great just bond and camaraderie, and they feed off each other in a way that you can't replicate. They couldn't replicate in Top Gear with new co-hosts and stuff, and that was the key. Exactly right, and that's the main point of, you know, like, they were Top Gear essentially. You know, it's as bad as it is to say, like, you know, that they were the show. They were the show, and the BBC's kind of realizing how bad they made. Like, okay, Jeremy Clarkson did a stupid thing by punching a producer, but he himself fired. But
worse things have happened.
Worse things have happened. Yeah. I mean, look, Trump's presidency. But, you know, at the end of the day, you're right though, Sam. Their camaraderie is just second to none, and they've got a chemistry that's just, you know, it's like you can't beat that. It just works when you put those three people in a room. They could just spend a week there, and enjoy it, because they just know what to do, you know. So they wouldn't get bored. No, they wouldn't get bored. That's exactly right. And and look, you know, my take on the episode, people were saying, oh, they feel a bit cold because, you know, it was. Obviously, it's the first episode that you're trying to introduce everything, and, you know, and then their new concepts, their new track, stuff like this. But it's the production crew was great. Like the short films and, you know, of the car reviews were really top notch. Like, you know, like legit Top Gear standards. So they've spent a lot of money on it. I wasn't disappointed. I was happy with it. So it's definitely, I'll definitely, you know, continue to watch. I wasn't not going to watch anyway, even if it was terrible. But, you know, it was good to see that it's been kept, like, even though it's essentially the same concept, just on a different format. And I highly recommend watching it because it was good, and it was good to see that, you know, their car reviews are still really good. So it was good to see they haven't lost the stupidity, obviously, but they haven't lost their real good car reviews. Was it a weird first episode? Like, did it have a little bit of awkwardness at all to it, or did it just like continue? It was a bit clunky at first, but then it just kind of just fell in. Like, and like by the time I got to the celebrities dying, it was just done. Like, everyone forgot about Top Gear. This is it. This is it. So it pretty much in my own thing, it was better than the first probably 3 or 4 Top Gear episodes of this semester. Oh, sorry, this year. Cool. So it was good to see. So I thought I'd just put my the Grand Tour review. So we're going to go back to the Snowy 1000. James got some information about your mate's car that's running it. So let us know.
Cool. So Alexander's MPS is going to be basically the debut. This car, stock, basically a tune and slicks, barely stock. Ran a 12.8 quarter mile. that's an impressive time. Yeah, it's quick. That is a very quick car. So now, like, he's put all this work into it. But just a quick rundown: it runs a Haltech Elite for the engine management. It still retains the factory ECU though. For the auxiliaries, for the luxuries like air conditioning, cruise control. It has a GTX 3076R turbo. That is a big turbo for an MPS. He's running like 45-pound boost. Wow. So obviously built internals, port injection, and a full E85. Yep. Fuel system. He runs. So in other words, by the time he gets to the end of the runway, he's going to be out of fuel. Basically, to top it off, he runs a Bugatti Veyron fuel pump. No way! Wow. Yeah. What the hell? That's hilarious. So he's got essentially a part that's from like a $1 million car. Is the car going to stay together by the time it gets to the end? It's just going to it's going to be pretty interesting. It's disintegrate. You're just going to see panels just falling off. Yeah. The best part is whenever he takes this thing on the street, and you know, you get like these massive V8s, or, you know, any other supercar, try to take this thing on, and they lose to a Mazda. Like, how would you feel? A little Mazda 3. You'd want to sell your car, really. No, you just like keep driving, but turn left off the road into a tree or something. You know? You're like, yeah, I'm done with this. Yeah, car, I'm done with this. So that basically gives him in excess of like 700 horsepower at the wheels. That's insane. Crazy. So he's obviously going to be running slicks and that just to keep full it straight. Slicks. I've been told he's running like Mickey Thompson full slicks. Yeah. He's even got a smaller rim size to get
more rubber,
more dampness on the wheels, and then wider rubber. So he's running 17s.
So with that, is it like a launch or is it a rolling start? I'm pretty sure it's a rolling start like they usually have, aren't they?
I think it's from a launch. I don't know the exact rules and stuff to the event, but there are heaps of rules.
Yeah.
I know he has anti-lag set up in every gear.
Okay.
So
he's on boost pretty much all the time.
Yeah, basically. Like this thing throws flames out of the back.
That's awesome.
The Haltech just picks up that. Oh, he's pulled his foot off the accelerator. There's a bit of lag, not anti-lag, and it just goes
and keeps him in the boost.
Keeps it stalled up, and then as soon as you put your foot down, instant.
Bang again, yeah.
It's a crazy system.
It's essentially a rally car. That's pretty dope. Yeah, look, I've seen a few cars from previously from there. I think there was a Typhoon. Believe it or not, I'm not giving Typhoons again a rap, but there was
a few there actually.
It's a yellow Typhoon, and he enters every year. This guy, and he's